All right, ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Hustlers.
Hi.
And this time it's Film Hustlers, not Film Hustler.
Who says hustler?
I say it when you guys aren't around.
What a dick.
Welcome to Film Hustler.
Welcome to my show.
There's a lot of shit going on right now in Hollywood.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to hear about Producer Patrick. Until Producer Patrick comes on the show,
Yes.
we don't want to talk about Producer Patrick.
But hey, so we were talking about this earlier. That $750 million. What does that mean for the state of California, Roberts?
If you are a studio like Universal and you're here,
So I can go home at
Los
night.
Angeles, yeah, they'll probably make a really big deal to a studio like Netflix, to Fox. They can benefit from that, but I have to look deeper into it because I don't know. Tax credits are tricky. Like you can go with your $100,000, or let's say $1 million just to be safe, but you go with $1 million to a place that gives you a 20% tax credit, but they don't allow actors from a different state. They don't allow you to tax credit your executive producer. They don't allow you to tax credit some above the line people. That takes like hundreds of thousands of dollars off of the tax credit. You don't receive it. But you go somewhere like Buffalo, New York, where they allow actors, where they allow, and I'm talking about actors that are not from Buffalo, they allow above the line, like your director of photography, your AD, your director, your producers. I receive tax credits on all those lines.
Yeah.
So that tax credit became way more than it would normally be in any other state. So the question is, how much of your budget can you actually get a tax credit on in Los Angeles? And is it gonna make a difference? I don't think to smaller movies it will, unless they have to shoot here. But otherwise, studios are gonna eat it up. They're gonna be like, great. I mean, isn't that movie, there's a TV show called The Studio
Yeah.
on Apple,
yeah.
shoots in Los Angeles.
Is that Apple or Paramount, or is it the same?
It's Apple.
I think it's Apple, dude.
Yeah.
They shoot in Los Angeles, and they were at the Beverly Wiltern. They were all over LA.
Yeah.
So,
But that's a big budget show with
yeah,
big
but
actors.
that
Yeah.
huge budget will benefit them because if they spend $100 million, they're going to get $20 million back. That's a tax credit. That's a
Right.
pretty good tax credit. But you're making $1 million movie. Then you also have to look. Let's not kid ourselves. LA is very, very complicated. Look at the birds. Just look at Griffith Park. Right? The
Stupid.
pigeons.
I thought you meant
in
the
Griffith
burbs,
Park.
like the suburbs with the birds.
No, the
Yeah.
pigeons from Beautiful Darkness. They were more expensive than any of our actors. That's true. That's not as expensive as a couple of them, but they were one of the most expensive things. Getting the permit.
Great
was
job, though. They did a great job.
Yeah, getting the permit was complicated. Renting a place.
Yeah.
For a reasonable amount of money, then you need permits to park.
Then you need those guys, the birds handlers.
You need the bird handlers. They're
Yeah, I know.
The animal insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need animal insurance, dude. It was.
Yeah, they
was
make
a
it tough.
task.
They
makes
make it tough.
difficult to shoot in LA. Now, do we want to? Yes. Does a studio? Does a cable network that doesn't have a ton of money really want to come to LA and start shooting their stuff here? Probably not.
Yeah, but if you look at like the history of filmmaking or film or whatever, vaudeville, New York,
Jesus,
the
vaudeville.
the Nickelodeon, like you know what I mean? It was almost like remember when you're a kid, you get the book, the paper, and then you draw the picture, and you could see the thing go, right?
Like in Disneyland?
Yeah, that's how it all kind of started. And then the Warner Brothers, the brothers, they came out here because there was more land, and that was the beginning, the infancy of silent pictures, and they started making movies. But there was just land here. It wasn't anything other than they could buy a bunch of land, and they had all this place, right? So all these studios. So isn't it just kind of like an evolution? And the ship has sailed. Like, yes, you're right. Hollywood, LA is going to be for big budgets, studios. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to, like the studio, places like that, they're going to make stuff. Small indies, I would say anything under 10 million is gone. Like, that's it. They're going to go to Buffalo because you get better tax incentives, you get more money, you get bigger bang for your buck. That's already happening. New Mexico, where have we shot? New Mexico, Tennessee,
New Mexico,
Atlanta,
and Georgia. Georgia doesn't even have a cap. So if we took every single film made in the entire United States and moved it all to Georgia, they'd never run out of money. The $750 million you're talking about, once that's gone, there's no more tax credits until the next year.
Yeah, see,
That's
that
it.
sucks.
That's
it's
great. But
and Georgia's, it's an open bank.
for as many.
It's like the
movies-
Treasury Department.
Yeah.
They just keep printing money.
Let's do it. They figured out that makes money for them.
So has the ship sailed then? It has.
It hasn't sailed. People want to shoot in LA. Of course they want
Yeah.
to shoot in LA.
Well,
but,
yeah.
But if you're Universal and this is your house and this is where you live and they're offering you money to make a movie in your neighborhood, then
You're gonna do
gonna
it.
do it.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a lot of actors that, just like shooting in New York is a necessity in Manhattan. People want to shoot in Los Angeles. There's stories that are really naturally that naturally live in the
I
city
want to
of
shoot in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
but
It's beautiful.
I do too. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
but the reality of it is you got to go to Buffalo.
Well, you gotta go to if you're gonna make, I don't know, if you're gonna make as many movies as some of these companies like Hallmark, GAC, Lifetime, whatever, then making a deal with a single producer and going to a single state that's going to give you 40% tax credit, and in some cases 50% tax credit, then you're going to do that. Of course, that's the business, right? And that's funny. Let's segue to the business of show business, right? Which
Yeah.
is making movies. I know things are changing, and it's. It's a very, very
$1
difficult
billion werewolf
place
stories.
to live because no one's making any money and no one's making any movies or TV shows, whatever. I know that that's happening. I'm not trying to make light of it. I know that there's only 4 or 5 new pilots. There used to be 20, 30 pilots being made a year.
Is there only that many?
They used to make a lot.
No, I know, but what do they make now?
I was told that there's 4 or 5. I was
Oh,
talking to a director in television the other day. They're all gone. They're all been canceled. They have like the mainstays, which is like the CSIs.
Yeah.
And
NCIS,
Hawaii 5-0,
all those, yeah.
NCIS, those are happening.
Dick Wolf stuff.
But there's nothing new. And when you think about it, this is actually the most important part. You know that the Tool Time guy,
yeah.
Tim Allen, he has a new show.
Yeah.
Network television, Channel 7, ABC, used to give Tim Allen a show and then say, we're gonna make 24 episodes of this every year, and maybe 25 because we're gonna do a Christmas one. So then they would do 25 episodes a year. How many episodes do you think they greenlit for his new show?
2025, 2026? I'm going to say 13, 12.
10.
10?
10.
Wow.
And in some cases, they're doing 8 and 6 now. So that's not, that's, I don't know. If you ask me, I think that the business of show business better get more businessy, because before, when there was do 28 episodes, do 24 episodes, everyone's making millions, you're reselling all those, everyone's buying houses and second houses and cars.
So is there a pilot
They're
season
not
anymore?
doing that anymore. No, there's no
such thing as a
There hasn't been
pilot.
a pilot season for years.
Wow.
People don't come out and camp out and go audition for different pilots anymore. They don't.
No.
It's just not the business we're in anymore.
No, auditioning is not like that, because my kids audition all the time, and I have to shoot them it's at home. It's it's you audition, you do send you. They do go if they get a call back or they're on a veil or something, then they will get called in, and then there's still like casting offices in LA that you go to, but they're far and few between, and they're not like they used to be. They used to be packed.
No.
Yeah.
Now
It's like the worst place to be.
It's a complicated business, but then you read stuff like
Water
Disney
to wine.
Hulu. No, Disney Hulu. This was in the news yesterday. Disney Hulu made a deal with Charter
Yeah.
Cable.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to be taking up that real estate again on Charter Cable. Charter Cable is going to pay Hulu Disney for being on that network, and then or on their cable box, and then people that have Charter Cable at their houses are now going to get Hulu, and they're going to get Disney. I don't know how it works. I don't know what the business is of it, but it's
That's
basically
interesting. So they're
it's
going
basically
backwards.
Yeah.
pumping
Welcome
new
back to
life
cable.
back into cable, because you know what
Wow.
they figured out is that people actually are not cutting the cord. Not everybody.
Yeah.
I know people that have a cable box and they have YouTube.
You do,
No,
don't you?
I don't have cable, no.
Oh, what a dick.
I got rid of cable. But,
How long ago?
oh gosh, it's on my Instagram, like 2020, 2019.
Oh, my mom still has cable.
I remember,
Expensive, though.
It is. Well,
That's why I quit it.
But so's all of it, right? Yeah, so's all of it.
Yeah,
Well, no.
ish.
Because
It can be.
It can be if you get all the apps. Like
$82 for YouTube TV, $10.
$82.
$19 for Max. $20, $23 for Netflix. I'm already up over 100.
I got Paramount for $4.99. What the?
Paramount sucks.
Hey, whoa!
I bought Peacock for a year because it was a good deal. It was like $29, and I went in to watch it yesterday, and I was like,
There's nothing
"There's zero I want to watch." Like zero. There's
Really?
nothing. There was not one thing that I said like, "Oh, I'm be curious about this." So I went back to Netflix and watched a documentary.
See, that's funny. I would go to Amazon Prime because their fucking library is
I like that too. Yeah. I like
yeah,
that.
it's like you have Blockbuster and Hollywood Video rolled into one.
I like Max. I think they have some good stuff. I love Apple. Actually, I
Yeah,
buy
I like
Apple.
that.
That's
But Apple, I
$7.99.
think, is Paramount, isn't it?
Apple's Apple.
Oh, you sure?
Apple's Apple. You can buy Apple. I think you can actually buy Apple as an app on Paramount and on Prime. You can actually go there, and while you have all your stuff, you can get Apple on there and pay them to pay Apple.
Is Mobland Apple or is that Paramount? You know that series with Pierce Brosnan and
Oh my God, no!
I don't know.
don't
it's supposed to be really good.
I think I've heard about it. I
Yeah.
hear it is good. But I don't know. I don't know what the story is with all those. But, I heard they're going to start packaging. Like, some of them are getting together. Probably not Netflix because they're, like, the biggest in the world right now. But, like, Paramount, Peacock, some of the other ones are going to actually offer a group of 6 of them. So they're going to say, you pay $70 for these 6.
Yeah.
And you can watch 2 or 3 at a time, and you can switch between them. You can move from this one to that one and cancel this one, but you'll always have the 6.
Huh.
So if you decide, like, I watched everything here, I'm going to go ahead and move to Max or one of those, then they're gonna figure out how to package it so that
Like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
You can go up and go, I want some steak. Oh, I'm going to come get shrimp.
Unfortunately, there's less product, right? People are making less. But it's hard. It's hard because
You know why they're making
we
less?
haven't figured it out.
Well, because the MOBISODEs are
The
hot.
MOBISODE. So tell everyone who's listening what a MOBISODE is.
So the MOBISODE, like your favorite, what's your favorite one?
It's Millionaire Werewolf CEO.
That's a good one. That's my favorite is vampire billionaire killers.
Yeah. See, I mean, does that pique your interest? It does mine.
So the MOBISODE, which I first learned about probably almost a year ago now, started in China. Okay, and it's vertically shot. The episodes are on your phone, and they are anywhere from 60 seconds to under 4 minutes, but normally like 60 to 90 seconds. And they blend into each other. So, and they're really bad. It's almost like a mashup between a porn and a bad soap opera.
And we want to do this.
But you asked me to explain what they are. I'm not saying I'm doing anything. I'm explaining. Fuck, this guy. And so, guess what? They took off. People like them. They're making a lot of money. When I met with these
I'm gonna
dudes,
ask Google what he thinks of.
When-
If anyone's making
well,
money
see,
on
their
MOBISODEs.
problem is you went to Google. You got to go to ChatGPT, fool. See, you're old man, right? Why don't you go back on your
go.
MySpace too while you're at it? But these things have been making a lot of money, dude.
Really?
And so I wasn't into it when I first met these guys about it. They pitched me it, and I was like, no, I want to make a feature. And they said, well, just take your feature and let's cut it up into these, under 5-minute films, under these 5-minute
Can
episodes.
I tell you what Gemini said about this?
What the fuck is Gemini?
It's an AI app.
Okay.
So it says whether or not MOBISODEs, short form videos designed for mobile viewing, are making money is a nuanced question. This is a computer. It doesn't care. If there was something out there on the internet that said that they're making money, it would be like, yes.
Okay.
So while there are examples of platforms and content within this space generating revenue, it's not a guarantee of profitability for every MOBISODE.
Of course not.
Creator or production company. Here's the breakdown. Anyway, growing popularity, the format is popular in South Korea and in China and gaining traction in the US, indicating a potential audience willing to engage with the content. There you go.
There you go. Willing
Yeah.
to. So
Yeah.
it's growing in popularity. So something has to start somewhere. It just doesn't start like explode all over the place. But my point being is, yes, the ones that are currently out there are really bad. So when I met with these guys, they told me
They're
about Real
soapy.
Shorts.
They're
They're soapy. I got this app called Real Shorts. I went on there. It's a hook. It's kind of like the podcast series where they give you, you get hooked in for like the first 4 or 5, and then they want you to buy it. Then they want you to pay X amount of dollars for the series or for access to the site. And there was no way I was going to do it, and the acting was horrible. They don't even set anything up. It's like people just walk in and they chyron their names above, like John, the boyfriend, Lisa.
And why is it succeeding?
Because our attention spans are like fucking gnats.
Okay.
And I think I asked you, when I sit down to watch a movie, which isn't very often, I'll put my phone on the couch next to me. I find the movie, which takes me 2 hours to find anyways, which is ridiculous, and I probably watch something that I've already watched. Once I start watching it, I'm watching, I get about 15 minutes into it, and I look over at my phone. Regardless if my phone lights up, by habit, I look over. And if it lights up, then I pick it up and I look. Oh, Instagram. What did somebody say? What did they comment? What is this? I see some in the movie. Is that real? Let me Google it. We're constantly on our phone, right? Constantly. So my point being is we don't have the attention spans that we used to. I find myself personally at night, I put the kids to sleep. I drink some water. I get a cup of tea. I have my phone. I put on the little stand and I start going through and I end up watching old 30-second to a minute clips of Sopranos because it's an algorithm, and if I watch one, then they start popping up, and I end up going through all these short form, and they're not even converted vertically. They're shot in landscape so Tony's face is half there, Silvio's eye is there, you know what I mean? But I'm still watching it. Yeah, and plus I know the story. But my point being is, I have a big TV in the other room. Why don't I get out of the kitchen and go in there? Because we're lazy and it's convenient. And so personally, I think it's the beginning of something big. Now, I have a friend, I told you this, and Andrea, she's my manager, she was talking about they're making an Elon Musk biopic shot vertically in a MOBISODE format. Okay. And a friend of mine who does these MOBISODES, who's been in Billionaire Werewolf CEO, he's been in a few of those, he said he got the breakdown for it, and it's being directed by an Oscar-winning documentarian, and the guy has a series on Netflix that I think he's directing or he created or something. He wrote it, and my buddy read the breakdown, and he said it read just like a film, great writing. It was quicker because the sweet spot for something that's really good, not werewolf CEOs, but like a regular one.
I like the werewolf CEO idea.
Is under 5 minutes, because that's about our attention span nowadays, right? Like you can get locked in on something on your phone for anywhere from like 30 seconds.
YouTube length.
Yeah, so that's all it is. It's a web series. That's all. They had them a long time ago. It's just shot vertically on your phone so you could watch it. And you just got to, it's all about blocking. You just got to put everybody in frame or whatever you put in frame. And it just needs to be quick. You need to go, it needs to be fast, right? Or you need to cliffhang it every 2 to 4 pages and make sure that but it's going to feed in, right? So you feeds into the next episode until you get to episode 3 or 4. And then when you get to episodes, you stop, and then you say, if you want to continue the series, you pay $4.99 and you get the rest of it, right? So you're already committed. You're already hooked in after, 2 or 3, which is, you're maybe 10 minutes in, if not, and now you're hooked. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I feel like this is playing out after watching, $1 billion Werewolf CEO and My Wife the Vampire and these other ones.
I like that, My Wife the Vampire.
Yeah, that was a good one. See, and they're a little porny, little soap opera. But listen, I don't know, but I do know that there's a lot of people doing these talented actors who have to dumb down their acting because no one's working and they need to pay their rent. They need to pay their bills.
Pay their rent with a MOBISODE, I'm telling you.
No, they don't make a lot of money, but who's to say in 6 months that they can't?
Who's to say in 6 months that our business won't come back?
You're right. You're absolutely right. But there has to be, people need to do shit other than sit on their ass and say, let's hope that the business comes back. Let's hope that.
Do they need to do shit?
Yes, they do. They do need to do shit. Otherwise, you're doing nothing. And then everything kind of starts to just fall apart.
I guess I'm cynical. I'm very cynical about
You think?
about the whole thing. I am. I'm cynical about the whole thing. I think that
I don't like it either. I wish it was traditional too. I wish we can go back to the 90s where we had Blockbuster.
look, I think it's cyclical. I think it's really important that everything you do, whether it's a MOBISODE or a movie or you're pitching a movie or whatever it is, needs to have the ability to entertain large amounts of people, or at least an audience that is definitely there and hungry, right? Because saying like, oh, I'm going to do a MOBISODE, and you have no idea who your audience is, and you have no idea who's going to click on it, you have no idea who's going to watch it. Like, where's the ravenous audience? What are they watching? Are they watching My Wife the Vampire?
Yes, it's preteens, it's teenagers, and did you read the article I sent you from Rolling Stones over a year ago?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks
Sophia,
a
do
lot.
you know what a MOBISODE is?
21. Preteens, teenagers. Okay, and the audience is mostly, like you just read off of Genie or whatever you looked at.
Gemini.
Gemini 2. They started in China, and now they're moving more like Eastern European. That's where these guys I met, these Armenian guys, they're filmmakers here in LA. That's why they were really pushing this, okay? Because that's where they're
I
from.
like the Chinese ones.
Do you?
Yeah, or Korean ones. Were
Yeah.
they Chinese or Korean?
Yeah. So I don't know
Yeah, those are good.
what I just told you guys about us having attention spans of a gnats and how we view content. I don't know if it pertains to us, because people still tend to watch Tulsa King and Mobland, and they want to sit down and watch the thing. I'm just speculating that this is something that has potential to go somewhere at a higher level, not these porn / soap operas that they're making that are awful, and they're billionaire werewolves and shit like that, because in those, and I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that, those countries, that's how they perceive the United States. Billionaires, Twilight, vampires, werewolves, like that's why they're kind of made like
Sounds
that.
great.
Yeah, but I don't want to make those types of films. So then, I don't know if that's the direction, Robert's, where it's going. I'm just saying that's happening.
Well,
And I'm saying that there's people in our field, actors, writers even, who are going over there and who are writing these, and they're dumbing them down, and the actors have to dumb them down too, because the acting's horrible.
Sounds creative.
But I think that the format's there, and I think that there will be an audience there in the future. I could be wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna make a turn.
Turn it.
I'm gonna make a turn. So here's what I would say about all of that. I would say, if you're listening and you're not where you want to be in show business as a director, actor, producer, writer, whatever you're doing, then do everything
Right.
and do it cheap
Right.
and do it with good, talented people.
Because even Dave, I sent you this. I heard about Brooklyn Coffee Shop,
Right.
right? And it's on Instagram, and they're funny.
That's good.
And it's well produced. It's well acted. And what are they? Maybe a minute long?
Yeah.
2 minutes long?
Yeah, minute and a half, yeah.
Minute and a half, and it's on Instagram.
That's great. That sounds like fun. But I think what I'm trying to say is, if you are not where you want to be, then do MOBISODES, then keep writing your features, then keep writing whatever it is you're doing, so that you can break through. But look, at some point, when I wasn't doing well, which is the better part of my career, I think I still had rules, right? I still had rules of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the business because I wanted to make commercial movies that entertained large amounts of people. I did want to do something Latino, so I wanted to add that flavor to the movies, but I didn't want to make them completely Latino. I just wanted to have a taste of who I was and what my DNA was, and kind of put that in there. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, are you doing your business, regardless of whether it's a MOBISODE or what it is, if your plan is to be in this business at the highest level, or at least at a level where you're earning a living enough to buy a house, buy a car, go on vacation with your family, then you're going to have to consider that there's a business connected to every piece of product you're putting out there. And if each piece of product you're putting out there is not growing your business as a filmmaker and turning the page to what's next for you, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You can't just put out product. You can't just put out product. I'm sorry. You can't just put out product. You have to decide if it's going to help you and if there's an audience for it and what the audience is.
So based off everything we've talked about on this show in the last, 2 years, we've established that
5 years.
Well, yeah, but the last 2 years have been tough. We've established that, there's not a lot of stuff being made anymore. Streamers took over. The budgets have gone down. It's tougher than it used to be. There's no Blockbuster. There's no Hollywood Video. There's nothing after the initial release. And the distributors have even shrunk. When we went and met with Millennium, which we never talked about on the show, we went and met them, and the guy told us they used to have 50 staff members. Now they have 10, right? They used to have 30 films. Now they have maybe 10. We pitched. He saw Beautiful Darkness, liked it. They don't. It's not just straight thriller anymore. It needs to be a mashup. So you need to do a action sci-fi, action horror, action. Because horrors and sci-fi and what's the other one? Horror, thriller. Not even so much thriller. Yeah, thriller, action, horror, sci-fi. Those four. Okay, those four films, that four genre, and I would even pull thriller out of there because he wasn't hyped up on thriller if it's a mashup. So you got horror, you got sci-fi, and you got action. If those three genres don't interest you, I would say don't get into filmmaking because what are you doing? Where are you going to sell your movie? Because going back to what you just said, commercially, that's what's being bought. And they're not being bought for a lot of money anymore. So you want to feed your family, you want to go on your vacation and stuff, those are going to be your best options. Learn horror, learn sci-fi, and learn action mashups. Not even just straight action. Because they do make other movies, and other movies do come out and they do well. But for the most part, if you want to make money in this business, like we're saying, then stick to that. I have no interest in horror movies. I have no interest in sci-fi movies, and I really don't have interest in action mashups. We can go right now and create a Film Hustler app and start streaming our own content.
We should do that.
But again, now we're in the race with thousands of other apps that do the same thing. There are still rom-coms. There are still Valentine's movies getting made, Halloween movies made. There's still movies out there, coming of age movies getting made. Those movies are still getting made. It's not like everything is just, action, mashup, horror.
No, but what's your signature? Like for a little while, I was like, wow, I'm an indie filmmaker. I raise money for my movies all the time, but I don't really work in the system. I make these movies, they get seen in a theater by 1,000 people, and then they make a couple $100,000, and then everyone loses their money, and the movie goes on a shelf, and no one else sees it, right? So that was sort of the business at the beginning for me. So that needed to change because that's not a business. That's not a real business.
No,
right?
That's a hobby.
That's a hobby. You're
an expensive hobby.
It's an expensive hobby, and you're making movies, and you're doing it, and you proved you can do it, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of it, I did decide, look, I want people to look back at my resume when I die and say, oh, he loved music. He loved Latino stories. He loved high concept ideas. And he liked working with his friends. And I thought to myself, that is going to be what people look back at what I did and say about my resume. Yeah. Because you're going to be able to read that in the tea leaves, right? You're going to see what my career was about. So I needed to change what I was doing. Otherwise, my kids wouldn't have known what I did for a living, you know?
Yeah.
And I did, and I'm real happy about it. You know, a lot of it has to do with Mario. But then a lot of it has to do with my ability to sell as well, you know? So the combination of teaming up with Mario and Jeff and all these things have led to much more product, much more sales, many more movies. But I did have to make, you have to make a decision. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
Yeah. You're going to make a MOBISODE.
You're gonna make no.
I like my wife the vampire.
My wife, the vampire. Well, going back to the whole genesis of this podcast, what is it about? It's about not getting stopped, right?
Don't
Moving
get stopped.
forward. Regardless if you're doing a MOBISODE, if you're doing Brooklyn Coffee Shop, which I love on IG. If you haven't checked it out, it's hilarious. It's
not even a MOBISODE.
No,
No.
it's on IG. It's just short form content, and it's well acted.
It's cool. It's really cool.
It's well acted. It has a production value. It's fun. It's funny. There's just so many places to put stuff out there. I think at the end of the day, without me getting all frustrated like I did, the things that I said do sell the best. And if you're gonna go make something, and like you used the analogy of going to the store, you're right. Like you go to the store, but guess who you're cooking for? Your kids. You're not cooking
gotta
for
get something
yourself.
they like.
They got something. Yeah, I wanted to have this, but they like that. So I got to kind of figure out a way to mix it in. You know what I mean? So
we're already in the business of pleasing people.
Yeah.
So, and nothing you do is arbitrary. You don't just get stuff and then leave it sitting in a box in your house. No, you bought it for a reason. I bought shoes because I need to wear them, because I'm going to go to a meeting, because I need to look good. I bought these jeans. Whatever it is that you buy. I bought this car because I need to get from point A to point B for the next 3 years. Whatever it is, you are doing it for a reason, and you're doing it for productivity. So if you're going to make movies or MOBISODEs or whatever you want to make, then have an end game in mind, and find out if you're going to turn heads. And you know what? Stop shaking your head at the radio or whatever you're listening
The
to
radio.
this on. And you know what's happening. You know if it's good or bad. You know if it's going to entertain people. Don't fool yourself. But on the other hand, practice making stuff. If you've not done it, then you should be practicing. You should be editing things and putting music to it. Speaking of music, want to shout out to extrememusic.com.
The best.
We haven't talked to
Russ
in a long time.
Yeah, although you know what? You did use Russ's partner's music in your movie, and Lopez really liked. He wanted you to get it. He wanted you to get it.
I used it as temp music. Don't get twisted. I didn't just steal it. I just used it as temp music, and it was amazing.
Who was it?
It was
Who's
Hans
his partner?
Zimmer.
That's right.
Hans
Russ's
Zimmer.
partner.
Bleeding fingers. But yeah, it's an amazing platform with a bunch of composers and great a system to make the size of the songs any size you want for your scenes, for your outros, for your intros. I mean, really, I use it so much. Is there an app? I want to see if there's. I've been thinking about. I wonder if there's an app.
Good. You know what's funny about that time when we watched your guys' movie at Lopez's house? When the movie ended and it was in his theater, so it's on the big. Everyone's all hyped up, and Lopez. This is one of the first times I heard Robert say no like this. Oh, it's great, right? It's great. Oh, I loved everything. The music was incredible. Can we keep it? No.
No.
That's Hans Zimmer. What do you mean, Robert? That was great. The music was great.
Well, Hans Zimmer's great, but there
How
are.
much was it to get that music? You think?
There are songs in there. There are songs in there
that are similar.
That are from the Extreme Music Library that we're going to license.
Yeah, of course.
But how long? Well, the music that was temp was from the Fire movie. What is it called?
Backdraft.
Oh, was it
The
really?
music was from Backdraft. Yeah, because I was doing a fireman movie, so I figured I'd use a fireman score.
Yeah.
But Extreme Music for all your music needs. They're incredible. They're great partners to us. We're really grateful to have them on board from the beginning. And we're going to keep talking about independent film and MOBISODES, I guess. And
Stop
producer
it.
Patrick,
Those are just some of the things that are happening. We got to stay up to date, fool.
All the things that are going to change the industry. You know what? Nothing's going to change the industry. You gotta really sit down and look at yourself and search your heart, because the only thing that's going to change is you. You're going to innovate. You're going to come onto the scene. You're going to show people your work, and they're going to go like, "Holy shit, this guy or this girl needs to be making movies for us." And when that happens, then you've done something. In the meantime, keep practicing. Fall down 6 times, get a bait. You know, I'm serious.
Don't be stopped. Throw
Hey,
your head
listen.
over the fence.
Don't be
It's not a matter of how hard you could hit. Right?
Hey, you know, like my mom used to say, the bigger they are, the follow more harder.
The follow more harder.
Make it intentional.
Make it intentional. Do something that's uniquely you, that fits, that goes to large audiences all over the world. When Netflix puts on a movie, they need to entertain the world. They're not entertaining East Los Angeles, you know. They're not. They're entertaining the world.
I don't know.
All kinds of nationalities, all kinds of cultures. What does that mean? Think about it. Sleep on it. What does that mean?
You a fool.
Dude, your movie's going to show in China. It's going to show in India. All right. See you next time on Film Hustle.
Laters.
Will we, though?
Are we? Is it?